everyone, it's Miss Dimitri. I hope you all are doing swell this morning. I wanted to make another video about telling time. In the last video, you learned how to tell time to the nearest 5 minutes. Remember that each number represents 5 minutes passing. So we always look at our hour hand first, which is the small hand, and then we can count the minutes by counting by 5. So I see that my minute hand is facing the 3, so I start at my 12 and I count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. So the time is 2:15. Today though, I wanted to go over another way that you can tell time and something you might hear other people say when they're talking about the time, okay? So I made a learning target for us today. It says, I can use quarter after, half past, and quarter till to tell time. So one word that might be a little confusing to you is the word quarter, because when you hear quarter, you might think about the money, the quarters we use. But we're actually gonna start by talking about quarters, the coin, to help us to understand what I mean by quarters in terms of time. Okay, so when we learned about money, we learned that quarters make up 25 cents, right? The value of 1 quarter is 25 cents. But I also taught you all what 4 quarters equals. When you put 4 quarters together, you have what? You have $1. So 1 quarter is 25 cents, 2 quarters is 50 cents, 3 quarters is 75 cents, and 4 quarters is how much? $1. So we can use quarters to make $1. But there are other ways that we think about the word quarter. Quarter just means that something is divided into 4 equal parts. For example, the school year. The school year has 4 quarters. After every quarter, you get a report card. So we have the first quarter, then you get a report card. Then you have the second quarter, you get a report card. The third quarter, you get a report card. And then the fourth quarter, that's the last quarter of the year, you get your report card, and then it's summer vacation. Okay? So another way we think about quarters, remember, divided into 4 equal parts, is like a basketball game. So at a basketball game, you have the first quarter, then you have the second quarter. After 2 quarters, you have halftime. And then you have the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter, and then the game's over. Again, 4 equal parts. So guess what? You can also use quarters to talk about time. Remember I said quarters are 4 equal parts. Now, when you look at a clock, you can actually divide a clock into 4 equal parts. It's kind of like a pizza that I divided into 4 equal parts. I'm gonna color them in so that you can see. Here's the first quarter. Here's the second quarter. Here's the third quarter, and then my last quarter. Here's my last quarter, okay? So if you imagine it as a pizza, and I have to share my pizza amongst 4 people, I would need to give everybody the same amount, an equal slice, okay? So now let's see how many minutes are in each quarter. So if I look at my first quarter, I see that it's made up of 5, 10, 15 minutes. Let's see how many minutes the second quarter is made out of. We start here, 5, 10, 15. Another 15 minutes. What about the third quarter of this clock? 5, 10, 15 minutes. What do you think the last quarter is made up of? Let's see. Whoop. 5, 10, 15. So each quarter has 15 minutes. So I'm going to leave this, you can't see it there. I'll just bring it back up. So let's see. Let's start with, what time is it here? Hour hands facing the 1, minute hands facing the 12. So it's 1 o'clock. All right. Now, when 15 minutes goes by, 5, 10, 15. The time is 1:15. Okay, because my hour hand's facing my 1, and then my minutes are 5, 10, 15. It's 1:15. But you might hear someone say the time a little differently. Because if you remember my drawing here, a quarter of the hour has gone by. Okay, so another way of saying this is a quarter after 1 o'clock. A quarter after 1 o'clock, because 1/4 or a fourth of the hour has gone by. Let's see what happens when another quarter hour goes by. 5, 10, 15. This looks familiar. Okay. I see that my hour hand is right in between the 1 and the 2, and the minute hand is facing the 6. So I know whenever the minute hand's facing the 6, it's what? 30. So it's 1, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 1:30. But I mentioned another way of saying 1:30 is half past 1 o'clock. Because if you look at this drawing, you would see that half of the hour has gone by. Half, okay? It's kind of like that basketball game that I talked about. Halftime. After 2 quarters, you have halftime, okay? So I could say that this time is half past 1 o'clock. All right, let's see what happens when another quarter goes by, another quarter hour. 5, 10, 15. Okay, now this is tricky, remember, because the minute hand is getting close to that 12, but it's not there yet. So even though it looks like it's facing the 2, it's actually still 1 o'clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So the time is 1:45. But remember, it's really close to 2 o'clock. So you might hear someone say a quarter till 2. Because when another quarter goes by, another quarter hour goes by, 5, 10, 15, it's what? 2 o'clock. So instead of saying 1:45, they might say, oh, it's a quarter till 2. Okay? So, again, this is just something I want to expose you all to, because you know how to tell time, but you might get confused if you hear someone say, oh, it's a quarter till so-and-so. Okay? So this is just another way for you to practice. So let's check in with our learning target. It says, I can use quarter after, half past, and quarter till to tell time. Now this is tricky, but let's see how we're doing with this learning target. I'm going to show you a time, and I want to see if you can tell me what time it is using these phrases. Okay? So, here's our first one. Let's take a look. Look at the hour hand first, and then look at the minutes. So if you said it's 10:15, you're correct. But another way you can say it is a quarter after 10. So it's 10:15, also a quarter after 10. Here's your next one. look at your hour hand first, see where it's between. Where's your minute hand facing? So the time here is 7:30, but another way you could say it is 7:30 because a half hour, which is 30 minutes, has gone by. Very good. Okay, next one. All right, here's a tricky one. So I first look at my hour hand. It looks like it's to the 5, but it doesn't look like it's quite there. So I think that the hour is still 4. And if I look, I see that the minute hand is facing my 9. So I know that it's 4:45. Another way you could say this, though, is a quarter till 5. Because in a quarter hour, it's going to be 5 o'clock. All right, boys and girls, this is a very, very tricky concept, but give me a thumbs up if you think you have made some progress and you think you're starting to understand this concept. I can use quarter after, half past, and quarter till to tell time. If you're still kind of in the middle, that's okay, all right? We will do more work with time later. Don't forget, in the previous video, I added some games at the bottom that can help you to practice telling time. All right, have an awesome day.